Right. Good evening, everybody. Sorry, we just had some technical difficulties getting the live show started, but here we are. Welcome this evening to a very special edition of In Conversation with Graeme Codrington. Those of you who've been following the series will know that I'm trying to speak to people that I think are going to be valuable to hear from. When we are kind of moving away from a crisis mentality and a sort of a crisis response to COVID, and are beginning to think about sort of what happens next, what happens after what happens next, and kind of trying to get even into an opportunity mindset of saying, how do we respond to the changing world, not in a crisis mode, but with new thinking. And Conrad, I promise I don't say this to everybody, although I think I probably do. This is the one I've been looking forward to most this week, at least. Apologies to the other guys I'm interviewing and ladies I'm interviewing this week. But tonight I am joined by Conrad Koch, a good friend of mine. We've kind of been in the same paths over the last few years, but in the last few months are kind of connected and really. Conrad, I'm a huge admirer of you, really enjoy your stuff. So thank you so much for joining me this evening. How are you handling lockdown? Let's start there.
Thanks, Graeme. Wow, it was a learning curve and a half, wasn't it? It's trying to work out how do we reach people through that little hole there, that little green light, like, nah. And also, of course, there's no laughter. So people think, well, and someone suggested, well, Conrad, you can do comedy over the internet. And I was like, that's like having sex in a duvet. That's just like it's just. It's like, I actually then was like, because we weren't expecting the stages to happen. Got worse, and it's like, oh, they're gonna lock it down. And then suddenly we're. Wow. And then I was like, but I've been doing this kind of TV stuff for years. And then when Chester goes on Facebook and so on, and, chatting to politicians live at ENCA's election events and that kind of thing, gave me a real sense of the energy of what we're doing now, the live aspect. So it actually suddenly I awakened, like, if I can just get the streaming software working, which we'll chat about as we go into the show, that would free me up to do my vision. And I'm there now. So now I'm playing. I'm up to be. And I say it every time I say this, people. I know we live in a country where people are literally dying, and 350 rand a month to live on. So to say I'm having a good time, I'm enjoying that aspect, the creative aspect of where we're at. So
in fact, in fact, that was one of the reasons I wanted to chat to you, because like me, you're in a space where you are going to events, to conferences. You do quite a lot of work in the business world. You also do some work in theaters, and that just disappeared. 9 weeks ago. I'm sure your diary was just cleared like mine was. And for a week or two, you kind of sit down and you're just in shock. And then you've got to start saying, okay, so what do I do? And if this is going to last longer than we thought initially, it's not just a few weeks, it's probably a few months, maybe even a year or two. You can't just sit still, right? So you've got to constantly keep innovating and trying new things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was booked to, my international management had booked me to take this racism show to Edinburgh Festival. I had booked theatre dates at Monte Casino, theatre dates at the Baxter, everything, all the corporate gigs, everything. And then had to revise, like, but how do I reach you? And suddenly that became the, we had to, it just, the grieving stages. We all know this. We all know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So just let me give you a better introduction than I've done. We've just dived into conversation and ignoring the people who are watching this. Those of you who are live, it's fantastic to have you with us this evening. You will have an opportunity to ask questions to Conrad. So please go across to the chat box if you want to. By the way, head across to the chat box anyway. Just say hi. Let us know where you're from. And you'll also see I've put a link into the chat box already, which is a link to Conrad and Chester's full show, which is happening this coming Friday night, right? And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But this, for anybody who doesn't know, I mean, I don't know why you tuned in or watching the video, if you don't know Conrad Koch, he's the master puppeteer behind South Africa, probably one of the world's most politically active puppets, Chester Missing. He's a political satirist, but behind the scenes, and so he's not just I say this as if actors are just actors. I don't mean that at all. But he doesn't just get on stage and have a little bit of fun. And he's not just about the political satire. He has a master's degree. Is it master's or just a degree in business anthropology?
Master's.
Yeah, master's business anthropology.
I work for it.
No, exactly. No, you were from the University of Southern Spain or something like that. $300. Yeah. Definitely hard work, and as you'll hear a little bit this evening, that really comes through. And I suppose, Conrad, before we bring Chester out and let him do a little bit of his thing for us, this is one of the reasons I wanted to really chat to you, because you're an entertainer as at least part of what you do. And probably it would be a little bit easier for you right now to just go into a natural space that you're very good at, which is humor, making people feel good about themselves, having a little bit of fun. Instead, you spend 8 weeks in lockdown, sort of fine-tuning a show about racism. What's wrong with you? Surely now racism is finished. There's no real issue with racism. That's not the big news now, or is it? Why this topic?
Well, that's a I think we must get Chester to answer those questions. I mean, why are we talking about racism when people can't eat? I think that's the bigger problem. And clearly class is the big problem, I think. Is what a lot of us would say. And I'm talking about racism just as like peddling a dead horse, and like what has apartheid got to do with COVID-19? And so for me, what I'd like to do is, Graeme, is if maybe we just let Chester come out and say it.
And in actual fact, you know what? That to be fair, that question is a lot more directed to Chester, because the show is not Conrad Koch solves racism, because you and I are just white dudes and all the rest. But it's Chester who's actually got the solution here. So maybe it's worth bringing Chester out and letting him try and get an answer to that question.
Let's do it. So if I can, so guys, this is comedy online, and the best way to do comedy online. Thanks, Graeme. You're so little. The best way to do comedy online.
Don't mess with me. I can get a little bit bigger.
So the best way to do comedy online, guys, is to interact in the only way we can, which is this comment section. Tiniko, yes, what's wrong with you? Exactly. Hello, everybody. So Jackie from Chile, Joburg, yes. Paul Tozio, it's nice to see people I know from Facebook. Patricia, hello, Patricia. Eleanor, it's freezing. I know, I'm also in Cape Town. So guys, comment. Let Chester know if you enjoy his jokes. And also, I'd like to you ask me before he does this talk, which is called How to End Racism by Chester Missing. He asked me to just, guys, can you think, what can you do better? What can you do to end racism in South Africa? And what can you stop doing? Like, what can you do and what can you stop doing is what he asked me to ask you. So if you just bear that in mind, we'll get going with the show. In comedy, normally people clap and cheer. We can't do that yet. So I want to see in the timeline. I want to whoop, whoop. Come on, whoop, whoop. Use up all your data, throwing emojis. Mike Pence is a more politically active puppet. Yes, Paul, you brought it. See, there are people here bringing their own jokes here, Graeme. This is the people that we have here. This is fantastic. This is going to be great. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It is time for...
Our policy is one which is called by an Afrikaans
word. Oh, wait. Where did it go? There we go.
That is being misunderstood so often. Just as easily... perhaps much better be described.
There it comes. Fix the sunny with vision. There it comes. There we go. Ooh.
Never and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another.
Woo! 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 Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to How to End Racism by me, Chester missing. That's right. There, I've got to find the other camera. Hey guys, how's it going? Look, I've got multiple camera angles. Unfortunately, it's crazy doing comedy in a lockdown kind of world, because we used to do comedy on Zoomer and now we're doing comedy on Zoom. And everyone knows the difference between Zoom and Zoomer is that Zoom connects you with everyone, but Zoomer just connects you with the Guptas. Boom! Did you hear the joke there, guys? Did you hear? Yes, hello, Robin. I love it. You used a lot of O's in your whoop. That's definitely Dacha talking. Justin clapping. Whoop, whoop. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, guys, it's been stressful. I can't smile at you. I would. But all that happens when I do is this. I look like Helen Ziller having a poo. That's Christo Wiese's face. If you say the words Marcus Jooste to him. This is a political joke, guys. Fantastic. Listen, man, there's so much going on in South Africa, and I don't even know where to start. This is my talk, How to End Racism, by me, Chester Missing. I just got one thing before I do the talk. It's on racism, and I can't talk on racism if we talk to the guy whose hand is in my ass first. Dude, what are you doing? What? You meant to be doing your talk. No, dude, I need to talk to you. No, you meant to, sorry, guy. What are you doing? I need to talk to you. Guys, Chester, Graham's waiting there. We had a whole setup. We were going, no, guys, listen, this is, lower the thing there, there. Okay, guys, this is what I'm trying to say, guys. I can't talk about racism unless I know whether this guy's racist. Wait, what? I got to say, let me get this right. You want to, no, you see, now he's getting awkward. Because, guys, I think the white people, race is like Fight Club, huh? Isn't it? Hey, you guys see Fight Club. First rule of Fight Club is, don't talk about Fight Club. Okay, wait. I'm fine with talking about race. That's absolutely ridiculous. Are you really? Ready? Hit the button there. No, you're not. Yes, dude, no, wait. It's just that sometimes it gets awkward. Yes. You see, that's the thing. I can't talk on race unless I know one thing. What? Are you racist? Dude, you can't ask me that here. What the hell? Did you see how he looked? Did you see how he looked around like that? Like that? Hey, so what we do, isn't it, white people? When you talk around race, we look around like a meerkat checking for snakes, and then we say some crazy racist cuck like, "I'm not racist, but hey, I'm not racist, but." Okay, wait. What are you trying to say? Sometimes you're not racist, but no, dude, you can't say anything after the sentence, "I'm not racist." Like you've never ever seen anyone say to their wife, "Honey, I would never, ever have sex with your sister." But that joke is for you, Toltizio. That joke is for you. KKKK. No, Toltizio, that's not an appropriate thing during a comedy show on race. No, wait. Look at these people. Mark Shan. Is that really your surname? Shan. Wow, it must be hard to sign contracts. Is this a sham? Yes, it is. Wait, bro. Listen, man. It just, you make it awkward when you always bring up race. No, okay, here's what's going on. You see, you're from Rondebosch, aren't you, eh? Yeah, there's a whole other level of white. Yeah, he's so white. Okay, right. Rondebosch, hey, if Rondebosch was a sound, it would be, it's a sound you make if your cheesecake is stale. Rondebosch is the kind of place you could see someone complain about the temperature of their cappuccino to a dude who lives in the shack. You guys can imagine that, eh? Is your cappuccino? My cappuccino's cold. Is your toilet on the inside? Yeah. So screw you. Okay, wait, bro. Wait. You know, South Africans are getting along, I think, mostly, and Cape Town's a kind of liberal place. Yes, exactly. You don't think you're racist. You don't think you stole the land. You think Pam Golding did. Why do you think they put UCT on a hill? Huh? Because they're not racist, they're condescending. It's on a hill so they can learn to look down at everyone from an early age. Wait, man. Listen, you're always focusing on white people in this conversation. Can we talk about it? Let's be honest, South Africans. We can all be racist. What, really? Oh, did you hear that, cock? Did you hear that, cock?
Can all be racist, eh?
It's on Twitter.
It's not just white people, it's also black people and colored people. They can also be racist.
No, wait. But it's true. No, it's not, dude. Think about the truth. What black people colonized Europe? Honestly. No black people the only black people who colonized Europe is the French freaking soccer team. As a result, today, there's no Germans having to learn Zulu so they can get a job in finance. Yeah, but that doesn't mean you should target white. I'm not targeting white people. As a result, today, there's no white lady going, "Hi there, my name's Sinkodile, that you can call me Karen." "Hi, my name's Karen, that you can call me Sinkodile because it's easier to say." You see, even your joke tried to get Eurocentric. No, wait. But we have been speaking about racism, haven't we? We've been speaking about racism ad nauseum for decades. Yes, that's the thing. Our politicians tried to fix the racism, didn't they? Hey, have you seen Helen Ziller? There is none. It's colonialism. Our politicians tried to fix racism. It's like Pablo Escobar running a rehab center. What's the breakfast? Pablo Sniff here. No, I just think you see racism everywhere. That's why this conversation doesn't move forward, because you're obsessed about it. No, you just don't understand how racism works. Yes, I do. No, you don't. I do. No, you don't. Okay, how does racism work? You know what's racist? Did you guys hear about a guy called Michael Kanate? Do you know Michael Kanate? Oh, the little child. It's meant to be humor. Don't talk about it. God, you guys know Michael Kanate. Michael Kanate is a little black child from Limpopo, drowned in 2014. He drowned in poo at his school. Yeah, but that's bad delivery from the ANC. That's not racism. No, of course it's racism. It's structural racism. They're not little white children in Claremont or Rondebosch drowning in poo. Imagine that happened. Imagine Helen Ziller would be there. It's the ANC. The ANC did this. The ANC. No, man, we get along, don't we, South Africans? We do get it. No, we don't. Okay, let's go closer to these guys. Guys, we don't get along. No, we do. We do. Look at the World Cup. Look at the World Cup. Dude, really? The World Cup? Yes, we beat the English. Yes, the one thing, that's also true. The one thing that can unite Afrikaans South Africans and black South Africans is murdering the English. Did you laugh at your own joke? No, that's a funny joke, man. Yeah, and then Faf de Klerk, the gees, man. The Faf de Klerk, I love Faf de Klerk. He says his age like a 5-year-old says his age. How old are you? I'm Faf. Yes, exactly. And he met Prince Harry. Yes, he met Prince Harry, didn't he, Paul Tizio? Hey, show the West his junk status. Exactly. So, look, I'm not... Just do your talk. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Chester missing. So, are you racist? It's not about me. You have a talk. These people have come to see you. I can't talk on racism unless I know with your hand. Look where it is. What? Can you guys see? His hand is in my ass, Robin. It's in my ass. It's like I'm Jacob Zuma and he's a Gupta. Okay, wait. My state has been captured. No, wait. Look, I'm just not racist. Okay, like clearly I'm not racist. Yeah, but how do you know? What do you mean? How do you know you're not racist? I fight racism all the time, like online. Oh yes, online where it's easy. It's one of those woke a-holes where you crack a joke and he'll be there. You're like, how many people does it take to change a light bulb? And then he'll be like, what if the light bulb doesn't want to change? No, man, I do fight racism whenever I can. Oh, if you guys try to fight racism face to face, hey, that's where it's hard. Of course I fight racism face. Really? Hey, I remember a couple of times that you didn't. Hey, have you guys try to tell your boss is racist? Hey, boss, you're racist. What a coincidence. You're unemployed. Or try to tell your parents they're racist. White people. Try to tell your parents that they're racist. Mom, Dad, you're racist. What a coincidence. What? You know it doesn't rhyme with racist. No, inheritance. Oh, shit. Yeah. But I mean, come on. I do, when I see racism, in front of me, I take it on. Oh, do you? His wife is of color. His wife is of color. Yeah, just what are you going to talk about this? So he was at a draai. He was at a barbecue, a draai. At a draai, Justin. You know, draais are like racism conventions, aren't they? There's always that one racist auntie telling everyone, you speak so well, hey? You speak so well to your black friend, who she calls Chitu. Chitu, you speak so well. Okay, there's some people make it awkward, and saying someone speaks well isn't racist. That's just kind words. No, that's a lot of bullshit. Because when a white person says you speak so well, you never seen a white person tell another white person you speak so well, other than a public speaking context, have you? You're not, it's not a compliment. You're basically an idol's judge the whiteness. Well done, C3. You've made it to the next round. Maybe you'll get a job in Investec after this. Like, wait. And what you're actually saying is, thank goodness you sound like I do. It's so racist. It's like going to a woman and saying, I trust you. You sound just like a man. Okay, wait. Anyway, we're at this braai. It was weird. Have you guys seen that movie, Get Out? Leave your camera alert. Have you guys... Wasn't like Get Out? Yes, his wife was the only person of color at the braai. Rodden, the only person of color at the braai. And someone thought they'd crack a joke. It was awkward. A little jokey joke. A little joke. And what they said is they said to his wife, who gave you permission? Who gave you permission to cross the color line? As you can hear, it's a shit joke. Wait. It was terrible. Okay, it was really awkward, and he wasn't going to take that. Hey, he did that. He did what you would do, Graeme. He stood up and he said, "How dare you? Those days are over. Come on, honey, we're leaving." No, he didn't. He didn't do a damn thing. He did what Paul Tozio is doing. Just sat there and stared and typed on his phone. No, wait. Okay, bruh. Okay, all right. You guys got to understand. Because they're judging me. I'm judging you. The comment section, that gotta start hating. No, okay. It was just a joke. Yes, that's what racists say, isn't it? It's just a joke. It's just a joke. Like racism is medical aid, and saying it's just a joke is a fine print. Hey, I'm surprised that at the end of apartheid, the clerk didn't jump up and go, it's a joke, guys. It's just a joke. Yeah, but dudes, it was just a joke. Dude, really? Really? You know what racist jokes are like? Racist jokes are like they're like a heart transplant, aren't they? Hey? Everyone loves heart transplants. Heart transplants are fantastic. Unless you're the donor. Wait. These guys have judged me now. Now we're going to lose fans. People are going to log off. I don't care. Look, man. I am very ashamed. It happened. I apologize to Mo. Did you do one of those bullshit apologies? You guys know a bullshit apology, don't you? Hey, you know a bullshit apology. Say, I'm sorry you're offended. I'm sorry that you're offended. If someone, because they're not apologizing for what they did. If someone does that to you, take out a pencil, stab them in the eye, and they're, I want my eye. So, sorry, I didn't know you needed your eye. Okay, guys, listen. Listen. My wife and I spoke at length about this. Yeah, here we go. Excuses. No, we did. We spoke at length about this. And, you know, I'm ashamed it happened. What? I'm ashamed it didn't happen. It didn't happen. It's not the weather. Racism is something people do. If you see racism and you don't say something, you're collaborating. You know what I'm talking about, guys? It's like that guy at the Virgin Active. There's a guy at Virgin Active. His name was Paul Tozio. He went there and he covered himself with a cloth. And he stretched one part of himself very enthusiastically. Do you understand what I'm saying, Graeme Codrington? He stretched one part of himself. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh. What I'm saying is he took the words Virgin Active too seriously. They kicked him out of the Virgin Active. Yes, they said, please do not come again. And racism is like that. That guy's a pervert and he needs help. That is how racism works. Okay, wait. All right. Yes, okay. Look, man, guys, I'm not racist. Some of my, you know, I have a master's degree in African culture. Most of my friends are of color. Oh, that's what they do, isn't it? Hey, that's what they do. When you accuse white people of racism, we start quoting our race CV.
Hey, I'm not racist. I have a black friend. His name is
Jeremy. His name's Jeremy. He's my friend. And he's my gardener. Okay, wait, man. Yes, all right. Okay, wait, guys. The truth is that this dude and I have gone to court fighting racism. I mean, come on. What? You're going to go there? You guys know Steve Hoffmeyer, don't you? You talk about this. You guys know Steve Hoffmeyer. Yeah, of course, you guys know Steve. He's just, you know, he's what he is. He's like the KKK with lyrics. So Steve tweets a few years ago. Go closer there. You see, Steve says that in my book, blacks are the architects of apartheid. But he literally said that he thinks black people deserve, he was saying black people deserved apartheid in his head. Yes, so I said, I tweeted his stance, and then he went online. What did he say? He said, if nobody wants to, on Facebook, he said something along the lines of, if nobody wants to hang around you, is it really their fault? Can you understand how crazy that is? It's an absolutely insane thing to say. So I called his stances and hey, make a change. Sorry, he's not do your job. You've only got one job. Press it. There, hi there, Paul Tozio. On the other you guys are watching Latex Online. Oh yeah, it's like porn. Oh yeah, Graeme Codrington. He's a futurist. Oh, I love futurists. Oh yeah. If you got big glasses, Graeme, you'd sell a lot more books. Joking. You know it's true. No, really. So I phoned all Steve Hotmeyer's sponsors, and they said they don't want to hang around with him, and it's not their fault. And that went kind of crazy. They took away his bucky. It was like a whiskey ad. It's like a whiskey ad. There was like, keep walking, Steve, keep walking. That ended up in court. Now, I know what you're thinking, Robin. You're thinking he was in court. No, racist idiots. I was in court. When the judge said, please rise, I was like, hello. When they said, do you swear to tell the truth? He made me say yes. And so we actually won the court case. No, I won the court case. He won. I'm the second puppet in history to go to court. Who is the first puppet in history to go to court? And the Cloudy Motsenang. Did you just do a cloudy joke? Yes, I know. It's kind of weird, isn't it? So there's no way I can be racist. No, dude, that's exactly the issue. Nobody who is racist thinks that they're racist. In fact, guys, the only way Dorian Ice, it's like Dorian Grain, that from Potchefstroom. Dorian Ice, the only way to be Estelle Pretorius, I love you, Estelle. The only way to be sure you're not racist is to be open to the idea that you might be an asshole. The only way to be sure you're a good person is to be open to the idea that you might be an asshole. Yeah. Justin, I'm not saying there's an asshole here tonight, but there might be. Is it Graeme Codrington? I don't know. On the other hand, he went to Bishops, so we know he's an asshole. What the hell are you talking about? We're in the middle of lockdown. Well, there's racism in lockdown, isn't there? Okay, you can't. That was offensive. You judging me based on who you think I am. You're prejudiced. Oh, you see what he's doing now? There's another move he do. Hey, it's called white fragility. The moment racism comes up, we overreact. We overreact to accusations like a husband who's been accused of cheating on his wife and want to shut that conversation down. How dare you say I've been cheating on you? Do you have any evidence? No? Thank goodness for that. Hey, just the day, man. We're in the middle of the biggest health crisis and recession of our lifetimes, and you are making it about race. Listen, dude, do you have to stand in a queue for 350 rand? No, I don't. Do you ever have to go dig and collect dirt for 300 because you can't get a freaking social grant? No, exactly. Did you have to look after your parents' health care and retirement? No, I didn't. Exactly. Your entire life is a product of apartheid. When you're standing in a queue and it's all black people packing and white people tying, that is because of apartheid. The price of Woolworths avocados is the... No, that has got nothing to do with apartheid. It's a joke there, Justin. So that's the first segment of your show. Yes, I'm not going to finish the show because you bastards didn't pay anything, did you? No. I need the big glasses. Yes, you do need big glasses. Okay, bye, guys. Bye. Am I going in the bag now? We might talk more about lockdown reason. Oh, there's a little man there. He's so tiny. It's Graeme. Oh, Graeme, you're so cute. I'm going to eat you.
Hey, Conrad. Thank you. Chester, thank you so much for answering my question. So you didn't answer Chester's question in the end. Are you a racist?
Well, that's the now we can talk as me. Sorry, just showing you my tech there. Yes, I am a racist, and I think that's the lesson of the show. And you'll see that there's a whole lot of path of narrative to go about, more stories from my life and so on. And I think that's the thing we need to grasp, is that we define. I was about to get into that. We define racists as you know, as what we're not. So we go, racists are bad people, I'm a good person. Justin is you don't know Justin. You've never met. He's just a name there on the internet. You don't know him. So what is he? White, and he grew up in South Africa. There were laws. There was no, the stuff. So the concept of the show is to take people on my journey so that they don't feel attacked. It is complex though.
And you do it so well. You do it so brilliantly. And I'm super impressed. I'll talk about this in a second, just with some of the tech that you're doing there. I mean, ventriloquism and puppetry and all the rest is at a different level when that's all you have to do.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
I assume you don't have a crew of 5 people managing things there, right? I mean, you're doing literally everything.
I'm literally doing a little bit of tech. I'll show you guys now. Went a bit pear-shaped. So I'm not sure why. But we'll get to it when I go to my eCab live.
Did you want to do some overlays?
There we go. There you see.
There
That's
we
what
go.
there we go. But now the text all over the place. There we go. Now I've got myself into a weird situation. There, I'm back, and then I've got my layer that I've added there for my.
Okay, the zoom with a view. Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Zoom. So, I mean, you've obviously been practicing. You've been trying to get all of this right. Ahead of you doing a show on Friday. So let's just quickly promote that, because if people were getting into this, if people want other friends and family of theirs, all those people who say, I'm not racist, but this is a wonderful way in, right? Because the whole conceit of the show is that it's you as this liberal white guy who's tried his hard. I mean, you even married across the color barrier, and yet we need to confront our racism as white South Africans, and realize it's not because we hate black people, it's because the system of racism, the system of apartheid hasn't been fully undone. So guys, the show link is in the chat box, up at the top of the chat box. I'll put it in again right now, just in case you missed it. And if you're watching the recording of this, it'll be in the notes below whatever video. I don't know where the notes are on whatever video you're watching, but somewhere there are some notes. But Conrad, I want to go back to the opening question, because you've now shown us what you do. I still want to ask you, why now? You need to make money like everybody else does. You need to carry on with your career like everybody else is trying to do. You could make it easy for yourself. You could just do puppetry. You could make people happy. You could make people laugh. But you've chosen to keep pushing at this thing that you and Chester are pushing at the South African, the real underlying issue in South Africa. Why do you think it's still important?
Thanks, Graeme. It's important because apartheid is the structure of the economy we live in, as you know. And so all that happens in a crisis is that structure gets more pronounced. And as I say in the talk that I do, South Africa Junk, but with status, people ask me all the time, as a satirist and as a sort of, a public person, can you still do jokes? Is it terrible what's happening in South Africa? And then I cite, people are dying. And then I cite the Michael Komape. I will make sure everyone I can finds out about Michael Komape. Because it's just so horrific that this negligence, this lack of caring that allows a little child, small little child to drown in poo, that unfairness is a product of apartheid structural inequality. The fact is that if I phone and my house is on fire, people will come fast. But if you live in a shack in Khayelitsha, people will not come fast. You can really go and chat to the Social Justice Coalition people. The level at which resources get pushed my way is automatic and it's just part of a system. So now we've got people complaining because you can't go jogging or you can't buy cigarettes, but other people are queuing so they don't starve, and the solution is 350 Rand, and we're acting like that's okay. And that being said, we're in an amazing position, as you as a futurist would know, is that we're the social compact, the social contract, as they call it, the Financial Times of London, and Cyril Ramaphosa spoke about it, is on the table, because what's changed is the middle classes are going, but now poor people might make me sick. We better look after them. To some degree, even libertarians like, oh, but the economy, the people will starve. We're like, yeah, we've been saying, but they didn't care until now, because you can't catch poverty if you don't wash your hands, but you can catch COVID-19 if the poor dude gets sick. So finally, the contracts change, and I think that is why it stayed relevant and is going to continue staying relevant. The other thing about this talk is, Graeme, I cannot overestimate how hard it is to get white people past the fear factor of racism, because it's so normalized that we get on. So that most of us have got, it's the liberal, the kind of nice ones are the hardest, because we're like, I've got black friends, I've got friends of color, they don't have problems. And going, but how do you know that they haven't been able to tell you that there's a problem? Because unless you open the door and go, I'm willing to take feedback here, they could be sitting in agonizing frustration, and most of them are. So the only way to solve that is to make yourself accessible. And I implore white people, tell your friends of color, if I ever screw this up, immediately tell me and hold nothing back, because that allows them to not, if the only thing worse than someone being racist is if it's your friend who's racist. Chester says later in the show, that's like getting mugged in a police station. This is South Africa, so that could actually happen.
And I'm so with you, Conrad. I remember a friend of mine pulling me up about it. I think we were driving in the car together and drove past a mom and her kids at a traffic light begging, and I thought, it's always that dilemma as a South African. You can't just keep throwing money out the window of your car, and I know there's more to it than that. But I just, in the moment, I thought, no, and I verbalized it to my friend, and I said, I don't really want to give her money. I'm not sure what she'll do with it. Let's just stop at the garage and, get some bread and milk and take it back. That'll be better for her. And he looked at me in exactly the way Chester looks at you, like, oh, dude, you're such a racist. Because what I'm doing in that moment, as much as my heart is wanting to be giving, is wanting to be contributing and making a difference, I'm doing it on my terms. I'm saying, I don't trust you. I'm the one who will make the judgment about what you need now. So I'm not going to give you money, which you can turn into anything you need, because I think you might abuse that. And on what basis am I making that decision? This is a mother with her children. And he basically said, dude, if you want to give her anything, give her the money or let me out of the car, basically, kind of thing. I can't sit here with a racist, and that's the thing, that guys like us who are not racist, but have to, and I love Chester's message there about saying you have to accept the proposition that maybe you are. And that's the starting point, isn't it? That maybe you are a racist, and that it's not a swear word. It's something that was built into you because of the apartheid system. Therefore, it's something that can be dragged out of you and learned out of you. And that's what you're trying to do for people. I love it.
Exactly. And I think what my big lesson that I learned from after the Steve Hofmeyr trial is the power of humility in this conversation. You see, I think what happens is liberal people look down on those bad racists. But in relative terms, if your family and people of color on this timeline, we've had this happen, their parents are forced out of their homes in the 60s and whatever. Then they went to get a job and they couldn't move up in the chain. They couldn't get the job that their white counterparts could get. Their dreams are just sucked away and haven't been able to build resources. And now we're walking into environments where that negotiation isn't on the table at all. How do we... So in other words, the difference between me and Steve Hofmeyr from someone who has had that amount taken from them is negligible. The simple fact is the system benefited from you. And to be honest, it benefits me all the time. I was on radio all week. I get lots of attention for this. It's difficult because I get a lot of crap thrown at me by white people. So it's not ambivalent and stuff. That being said, Graeme, I think it helps white South Africans to realize that we're not alone in this. We perhaps have a very pronounced form of it, and we can be very colonial, like a little settler town. When you go somewhere and then you go overseas and you come back and going, wow, this really is kind of some of the things we're doing are backwards here. That's what it's like on the race front. If you go to Melbourne, you go on stage as a comedian and do some kind of weird Indian stereotypical accent or black, they will kick you out immediately, no matter what race you are. A black person get away with it, but they'll still get a bit of judgment. So the fact is, it's normalized certain level of just being decent. And I think that understanding this colonialism conversation is a global one. They're having it in Canada, they're having it in Australia, the UK. We're not alone in the importance of this. And we've also normalized how crazy it is. You speak English everywhere in the world, and white people are all over North America, Australia. It's this normality that's abnormal.
So for me, and this is why I really wanted to chat to you, and thank you so much. I know you're preparing for the show on Friday and all the rest. Thank you for taking time out tonight. I really, really do hope that as companies and people kind of shift away from a kind of crisis response to COVID that we've had over the last few weeks, which is, I'm not saying that was an incorrect response. It's been a crisis. It's a global pandemic, right? And lots of people are losing their jobs, and the world is falling apart. But you reach a point where you say, right, okay, that is what it was. Now let's start building. Let's start seeing what comes out the other side. 3 years from now, COVID will be history. It'll be gone. What I hope happens is that people finally see with their own eyes exactly the point you're making, that we are all in this together, that structural apartheid still exists. You know, the fact is, I can choose on Monday to go to work or not go to work, and the choice is whether I get in my own car with nobody else and drive there and then drive back at the end, versus millions of people in our country who are going to have to get into a taxi because taxis are racist. They're there because we refuse to put public transport in. In Cape Town, you've got a wonderful taxi and bus lane that goes from the townships to work. And then there isn't one that comes home because we only want you at work early. We don't care how long it takes for you to get home afterwards. I mean, structural apartheid is all around us. We haven't undone it yet. And maybe this COVID crisis gives us the push, the shove that we've needed to actually once and for all say, you know what, we have to do something. We have to fix something. You asked people just before you pulled Chester out, you asked them to think of something, to think of a question. And I know this is where you head to in the show. So I hope it's not revealing the punchline. But you asked people, what should we do about it? And I love that question because there isn't an easy answer, right? If there was an easy answer, we probably would have done it. But what's your answer to the question? What do you think we should do about it?
And I think also I'm keep shaping the question, Graeme, but like, what do you think you can do about it, and what do you think you can stop doing? So I'm still, and if anyone listening here can give me feedback on what question asked, the concept is a provocation. I always felt that like it was a dangerous question to ask people. So I'll be doing a whole lot of runs of the show with Symposium. The amazing Louise van Rijn runs that, but as a far more workshop-y and far more focused at business. And she is saying, let's put in more what to do to fight racism. Because the show, and the reason I wouldn't want to prescribe is because the truth is there's nothing you can do that can fix what apartheid did. And the moment you go do this, it goes into painting schools, that CEO sleep out that just drives me nuts. So you're going to go sleep in the street and pretend that is anything comparable to what people who are disenfranchised go. This is just mad. Stop. It's like you're mocking people. So I think we must ask ourselves. So I think if the people watching here, if you're still here after a very serious conversation, what do you think we can do? Like, what do you think we can do? Like, what do you think you can do? And then also, what do you think you can stop doing? Normally, I would interact and talk about
I know. Well, while people are thinking about that very, very serious question, let's just let's just we'll give a few people a chance to respond, and then we'll come back to that as we finish. But just for the nerds like me, for the kind of tech nerds, and for some people who are wanting to just up their game in terms of video and that, can you just give us a quick look at how you did what you did? I mean, those multiple camera angles, the thing. What's your tech setup there?
As you know, I'm just going to unplug the one camera so I can show you with that. This whole system, Graeme, works on a software called Ecamm Live is what I'm using. You get a variety of broadcast software that allows you to live stream. So this footage that everyone is watching is coming via another source. And now my source thing has just gone pear-shaped. That's the problem, is I have to use Wi-Fi for a lot of this stuff. So this camera is over there. Now over here, this is my very messy room. As you can see, it's nothing as good as it looks there. At the moment,
but you've got to have all those curtains up and everything for the sound muffling and all the rest. I've got the same problem here in my room.
Yeah. Although it's not too bad during the day. It's also from a light and heat point of view. And I don't know why let me just see and then what I've got here is this thing's gone a bit pear-shaped now because it's Wi-Fi connected, but it's let me see if I can get it to focus. It's like a triggering thing that allows me to trigger the sounds. And so what happens is Ecamm Live, the software, allows me to decide which camera I'm going to go through. And this one is just an app on my phone. I know you use it as well, Graeme. Called EpoCam, and that allows me to make an alternative camera source. And if I've got this triggering right, I can jump to, for example, this one where I can put myself anywhere in the image. I can put any image here. I can play video around me, and then I can also create layers in front of me. So up there, that's a PNG file that's in front of me. You can layer it as much as you like, and it starts creating a real TV-like experience. And then I can run PowerPoints. I can go back to the phone, which is running that, and I can run a whole PowerPoint show, as you've seen me do. And it's great because all I do is I take this little phone here and I swipe on it, and there we go. I swiped out of the shot and swipe back into the shot. So it's amazingly interactive, and you can make this like popping experience. I mean, I saw you guys were seeing how suddenly Chester's talking over here, and then I come back. It creates this real living experience, which I love.
The first time
you did right as far as video and stuff.
Exactly. The first time you did that with like Chester's face, I'm watching on quite a big laptop screen. I literally jump back. Like, what, Chester? Give me some space, dude.
So funny.
But I mean, it really is amazing. You know, when you were doing your TV show and all the rest, I mean, you know, you had a whole crew around you and different camera operators and a producer in the background. You know, now it's you just doing it. Do you enjoy it? Do you enjoy it as much? You know, is there something in the Hey, it must be. Go for it.
The TV show. When you shoot a TV show at ENCA or ETV, you phone upstairs, and someone upstairs press record.
Yes.
Like literally 3 stories up.
Yeah.
And then you're in this basement, and then the stuff's recorded. There's record everything that happens, and then there's like concrete block. You have your own set, and you have cabinet ministers arriving en masse to have a meeting with a puppet. So that's really bizarrely fun. The ego trip, I think. But it also, it doesn't have that, this thing where I can get close to the camera and I can, jump around and make it like popping and put up a picture of Gwede when I want a picture of Gwede. Plus this comment section here, I've used it less today. But, Paul, the multitasking, I know. I've used it less today, but Chester on a Facebook live feed is hundreds of people commenting. Everyone wants to interact. And then he'll say, hey, I'm from Mpumalanga. Bam, Mpumalanga joke. Mpumalanga, oh, did you see what happened? Boom, Didi Mabuza comes up. And this popping kind of, the time we're living in is people want an authentic, real connection with people more than anything else, because we are separated and because we are fearful. So trust is your only product that we have now. Like, are you gonna kill me? So I'm really enjoying this, Graeme. I know you are too, in a way. It's like,
No, I am. Look, I'm more of an introvert. I've always preferred conferences where the lights are blaring in my eyes and I can't even see the audience. I know you love interacting with the audience, and there's always some poor schmuck you pick on, sort of first or second row. Tonight it was Paul's turn, which is
he's someone I know. I love him. Paul's amazing, but it's also what you're doing is you're creating a rapport. Graeme, you're creating a personal connection with people to drive to make the conversation real for the people in the room, which is why I'm enjoying Zoom as well as a platform, because then I'll get everybody in formats. And yesterday, amazing gig for FNB, and I got some inside info that the boss of the section has hair grown, and then the whole show was about his hair, and it just was this like real, authentic experience where the message arrived. But it touched people. I think we forget. We don't see people, so we forget how alone a lot of people feel right now.
So you've got the show coming up on Friday. Any plans beyond that for, like, if you are enjoying this live interaction, there must be opportunities for you and Chester to kind of get face to face with some of the fans?
Yeah, of course. As I was saying before, Chester and I are going to be doing a streaming show. You go follow him on Facebook. He'll be doing a streaming show. We're going to call it Chester Missing Unfiltered. And it's going to be like,
look, I don't know when is Chester ever filtered. I mean, if we've only seen him filtered up to now, then this is going to be something.
Exactly. Imagine Chester saying what he actually thinks.
Uncensored by the big TV bosses.
Uncensored by the big TV people, yeah. So I enjoy the idea of just the immediacy of talking directly to people that we had. To be honest, would have on live TV. When I was like at Nasrec, or when the big election things, in Karima Brown's there, Stembile Mbete, the proper analysts, and then Chester's hoying, that had this like electricity that's I'm looking forward to bringing to Facebook and to YouTube streaming, and we're going to have a panel discussion afterwards where I get probably Koketso Sechane and Mpeng Morobe, who are, Koketso is a well-known journalist, radio journalist. Mpeng was this crazy political analyst character on my TV show, and then get Pumzile van Dam and the politicians in. It would be electric to have people talking to politicians live in a comment section. You don't get that level of. It's like, can I phone in? No, you can say you are an ugly politician.
Unfiltered.
Yes, unfiltered. I love. So do that, and then also, Graeme, my show South Africa Junk, but with status. Will be a public show in the next few months. We have we're all trying these things. We've actually got a new theater we've created for online. Using the same webinar software, but adjusted so that it feels more theatrical, with an entry thing and checking you're okay and a WhatsApp, what's.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, very exciting. Yeah. So for this
awesome,
Friday,
man.
go to Quicket. If any 5 of you want to still book, go to Quicket, and it's 30% of the proceeds go to the Kathrada Foundation, because they do great work with schools and teaching people how to fight racism.
Brilliant. And anybody watching this at any time now or in the future, Chester and the guy with his hand up, Chester's what is available to speak to your company. Bringing these messages of how we need to confront the systems in our world, make them better, do better. And honestly, there's a huge business message about doing better business by being better. And what a wonderful time in history. We've got the biggest blank slate we've ever had in history. We've got the solidarity, that feeling again of doing stuff together. And we've got every opportunity to do something now in the next few months that we failed to do in the last 25 years. Let's not waste the opportunity. And if a pint-sized piece of latex can be part of the solution, let's make that happen. So, Conrad, go for it. Over to you.
Well, it's just that this is exactly. Take for example, although it could be sketchy, but Bosasa is a great Freudian slip there. But the Bidvest cleaning schools take away. Hollard was going to pay the income grants. The private sector and the public sector have lived two worlds apart for 26 years, and that needs to change. It's going to take all of us to fix South Africa, and I think that conversation's starting to happen. The Solidarity Fund, I know I've been doing a lot of banking gigs in the last week, and those guys are really struggling because how do we get this money to people, and people are starving. That's the work that South Africa takes. So corporate mustn't be seen as these evil dudes. We're part of the solution, and the junk status and this racism show are about that as well. So so true, Graeme, what you're saying.
Brilliant. Well, Conrad, thanks again so much for your time. It's really been exactly what I was hoping for. Just a little bit of fun, but fun with a purpose, and fun that pushes us to be better people, better South Africans. And you are definitely one of those. So you and I, we're both racists. We're recovering racists. We're trying to do better. Thank you so much, Conrad, for all you do for us. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Go to Cricket, buy those tickets.
We didn't talk about their comments. Yeah, Cricket. We'll talk about your comments in the show. Bring your comments to the show.
Bring your comments to the show. Did you get the comments? I think those are some good comments for you.
Because it's good one. Yeah.
It's start, stop, and continue. Not just what do you start, what do you stop, but what do you carry on doing? It's a nice one. Cheers, everybody. Thanks, Conrad.